Hey guys, Hamster Rule here with a new video, and first of all, hope you guys had a wonderful New Year's Eve, and hope you guys have wonderful plans for 2020. It's gonna be a nice year, I can feel it. Anyway, today, I want to talk about some items in World of Warcraft, more specifically, the items in Classic, and how they used to be much weaker in early vanilla retail. See, the reason I'm making this video is because right now Molten Core is the top tier raid, and people have always said that vanilla raiding was really hard. It took a lot of time. It was really challenging. And now in Classic, with Molten Core, people are just blazing through that raid in record time with crappy gear, level 52 blues, and all that jazz. Now, of course, some of the reasons that we're clearing Molten Core at these record times are, well, we have a better internet connection, we have better PCs. I mean, no one's playing WoW at 8 frames per second anymore. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be one guy in the comments going to be like, well, I still played on my Pentium 3 laptops. Like, okay. Most people don't play it anymore on a crappy PC. So that definitely helps. We have better comms and all that stuff. And of course, we know the strats. However, I do firmly believe that there's one aspect that often gets overlooked, whether it's because people don't really know about it or just kind of forgot about it. And that is the fact that the items that people are wearing right now in Classic are in fact much more powerful than what they were back in retail vanilla when Molten Core was the top tier raid. And today I'm going to show you some of these items so you can kind of get a feel just how terrible these items were back in early vanilla, and also how much more powerful they are right now. And it's also one of the reasons why I want a progressive itemization throughout Classic, but, you know, that aside. So let's go through these items, okay? So as you can see, I'm on Classic database right now. I'm not going to go through all of them because that means we'll be here till tomorrow and the video is going to be 5 hours long. I just want to show you a few of them just to give you guys basically an example of how weak these items were in the early stages of vanilla. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, Banthox Sash. Very, very popular item for casters. Probably the best pre-raid item you can get for casters. Look at that. 10 stamina, 11 intellect, 1% chance to hit with spells, very important, and 12 damage and healing. And it's a level 49 belt. So this is super popular for people that are doing Molten Core. Probably going to be super popular in the level 49 twink bracket. Basically a pretty darn good item. However, it didn't used to be like this. Okay? Because if I go to patch 1.2, look at that. That was Banthox Sash in patch 1.2. This is the Sash in 1.2 when people were doing retail vanilla Molten Core. So you can just see the difference. I mean, this one has 1 intellect more, but look at that. No spell hit and no damage and healing. So it's a huge difference compared to what it's now in 1.12 or 1.10 and up, of course, and in Classic. And that's just one item. Just look at the difference here. So let's go to the next one, right? Next one. Kindling Stave. You know, not the best staff, but, you know, it's still, you know, it's alright. It's got 13 spirit, 10 stamina, 12 intellect, 10 fire resistance, and 1%, you know, 1% chance to crit with spells. So all in all, not amazing, but still, you know, whatever, quite decent. Patch 1.2, 25 spirit, 10 stamina, 10 fire resistance. Look at that. No extra mana pool, no chance to crit with spells, nothing. Let's go to the next one. Omni Cast Boots. Again, very popular item for pre-raid casters. You know, lots of spell damage, 9 intellect, 6 stamina, pretty darn good. Let's look at the 1.2 version, 1.2. Look at that. No intellect, no stamina, 14 damage and healing. Just look at that. 8 damage and healing less, and no base stats. That's pretty staggering. But it gets better. It gets better, right? Sprite Caster Cape. And again, another pretty popular pre-raid item. You know, it's a good cloak. It's got 4 stamina, 4 intellect, 5 spirit, 14 damage and healing. This is basically a really good cloak for any fresh level 60 or someone in his late 50s doing BRD trying to gear up. Right? Pretty good cloak. What was that cloak like in 1.2? Look at that. Look at that. 2 stamina, 4 intellect, 10 spirit. Once again, no damage and healing, a little bit of base stats, that's it. That's all you got. Just look at the difference here. Look at that, it's amazing. Let's continue. Kenzi Kameez. Again, another very popular item for clothies looking for some spell damage shoulders. in your mid-50s, level 60. It's still good at level 60, basically. I've seen a lot of people wear these level 60 with good reason, because look at that. 13 intellect, 6 spirit, 5 stamina, 14 damage and healing. Really good. Great item. Hell, I've even seen a few elemental shamans wear this, and a few balanced druids even, so it's that good. Now let's look at patch 1.2. 13 intellect, 7 spirit. That's it. That's all you get. And I hope you're kind of now starting to realize just how few items there were with actual damage and healing, with good stats, and just, it's one of the reasons why these boss fights in early vanilla took way longer. It's because of this kind of stuff. I mean, look at the difference here. This is 14 damage and healing on one item. That's pretty darn big. So there you go, let's continue. Urslag shoulders. 13 strength, 8 intellect, 8 stamina, 9 damage and healing. Not the greatest, but, they're pretty decent retribution shoulders. I mean, they give a lot of stats, so it's not too bad for level 47, right? Let's look at the 1.2 version. 11 strength, 11 spirit. Again, that's it. Nothing more. This doesn't give stamina, no intellect, no damage and healing, less strength, and they're the same level, and they're green. That's what you get if you would run BRD, and these would drop. Next one, splint height shoulders. Pretty popular for, I'd say, enhancement shamans. I've seen a fair amount of enhancement shamans wear these. Even a few boomkins, because they're leather and they do have damage and healing. But, look at that. 11 strength, 10 stamina, 10 intellect, 9 damage and healing. Again, not too bad. Pretty good, considering it's a level 50 item. 1.2. 12 strength, 12 spirit. Where's my stamina? Where's my intellect? Where's my damage and healing? It's just not there. It's just not there. And it keeps going like this. Again, we'll go through a couple of more. I don't want to make this into like a 50-minute video, because at some point you're probably going to get the point that the gear was much weaker. But let's go through a few more, just for funs and giggles. You guys can see the difference between early vanilla and, again, late vanilla or classic WoW, of course. Ogre Seer Fists. Leathers, gloves, not shoulders. 10 stamina, 10 intellect, 8 spirit, 13 damage and healing. Great gloves for a balanced druid. Even an elemental shaman would like this. Pretty darn nice. Patch 1.2. 10 intellect, 10 spirit, 4 strength. It's got intellect, spirit, and then like 4 strength on them. We're like, yeah, let's just give him a little bit of strength too. Like, again, no damage and healing. 13 damage and healing. If you would have this compared to the classic ones over here, you'd miss out on 13 damage and healing if you're, let's say, a balanced druid or elemental shaman. That's a pretty big deal. Cyclopean Bent. Again, pretty popular ring for casters. It's got some, it does have strength, so it's a little meh. It's also decent for enhancement shamans, and I guess for retribution paladins. I've seen a lot of casters wear this, and for good reason. I mean, it has 4 spirit, 7 intellect, 8 stamina, 9 damage and healing. Not a bad ring. Patch 1.2. 15 spirit, 4 strength, 4 intellect. I mean, you get a ton of spirit, but you get no damage and healing. None. No stamina. So, another item. At least it's blue. At least this one's blue, so you get the bragging rights. Like, yeah, I got a blue ring. It's pretty sweet. But other than that, I don't know. It's very meh. Very, very meh. Flamestrider robes. Pretty popular for, I'd say, balanced druids. Definitely balanced druids. And enhancement shamans too. I've seen a few resto druids wear this because it has like 20 healing if you take out the damage. So, pretty nice robe. 16 spirit. 5 stamina, 6 intellect, 5 to 10 fire resistance, and of course 20 damage and healing. So not too shabby. Not too shabby. Patch 1.2. 25 spirit, 5 stamina, 6 intellect, 10 fire resistance. Again, no damage and healing. None. It's gone. They had a giant hard-on for spirit way back in the day. And of course spirit is not useless. I mean, if you're a resto druid, spirit's kind of nice. But the previous items where, let's say, you're a restoration shaman, what are you going to do with that spirit? I mean, you're going to heal all the time because you're going to downrank your chain heals or downrank your healing wave or whatever. You need MP5, so this does nothing for you. But for druids, 25 spirit, whatever. But I'm guessing you'd rather have 20 damage and healing if, let's say, you're a balanced druid or I don't know what. It's just a pretty big downgrade if you ask me. Arbiters Blade. One-hand sword for casters like warlocks and mages. 5 intellect, 8 stamina, 8 damage and healing. Not the greatest, but definitely alright, because it has, base stats you want and a little bit of damage and healing. 1.2, 6 intellect, 10 spirit. Again, no damage and healing. Nothing. Look at that. So these are like what we've been through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like what 10 items. 10 items. Look at how much difference there is in terms of how much damage and healing on items there was in classic WoW and of course late retail WoW and early vanilla WoW. Just look at it. There's nothing on it. The only item we've seen so far is the Omni cast boots, and even that was green, had no base stats, and had 8 damage and healing less. You know, it's just Lead Surveyors, Mantle, Elemental Shamans, you know, all over it. 14 Intellect, 8 Spirit, 15 damage and healing. Pretty darn sweet. I've seen a ton of Elemental Shamans wear these, and for good reason. I've even seen like a few Resto Shamans in there, because if you take out the damage again, it's still 15 healing on shoulder, so, you know, not too shabby. Patch 1.2. 14 Intellect, 8 Spirit. No damage and healing. Nothing. That's all you get. Oh, this one's a good one. This is a good one. Senior Designer's Pantaloons. 18 Spirit, 8 Intellect, 7 Stamina, 40 healing. This thing is pretty goddamn insane for healers. I mean, even if you're like a druid, which of course you can wear leather, even if you're a shaman, it's 40 healing. That's a lot of healing. So of course you want these. These are really good. Again, they're level 50. Really good item. Patch 1.2, here we go. 20 Spirit, 9 Stamina. That's 40 healing and a little bit of intellect. But there you go. 40 healing gone. You don't have that. People didn't have that in early vanilla when they were doing Molten Core. That's just one item. 40 healing. That's a huge difference. Next item, Luminary Kilt. Pretty decent for Enhancement Shamans and Balanced Druids. Even Resto Druids, because, you know, it's still 22 healing. It's got a lot of intellect, actually. 20 intellect, 8 spirit to 8 stamina, and then 22 damage and healing. Patch 1.2, here we go. 17 intellect, 17 spirit. I mean, I keep cracking up, but just look at the difference. Look at it. It's huge. No damage and healing. Again, no damage and healing. You get a little bit more spirit. But I take, what is it, like, you get 9 spirit over 22 damage and healing, and you lose 3 intellect and 8 stamina. I mean, no one would take the green one. No one. You'd go for the blue one, of course. You'd go for this one. This one's pretty great. Okay. Robes of the Royal Crown. Again, very popular item out of BRD. Lots of casters want this. 10 spirit, 12 intellect, 19 stamina, 18 damage and healing. Pretty darn nice, right? You know, if you're a mage, warlock, you're thinking, yeah, I don't have that Archmage robe yet. I don't have the Robe of the Void yet, or whatever. The robe from Dire Maul. You're thinking, yeah, this is a good alternative. You know what you would have gotten in patch 1.2? 29 spirit, 9 intellect, 5 stamina, 3 agility. 3 agility. Oh, that's great. It's going to improve my dodge chance and armor. Because that's what I want when I'm doing Molten Core. I don't want spell crit or spell damage or spell hit. Nah. Give me that 3 agility. It's so weird. I mean, I guess Blizzard wanted to add a little bit of more, I guess, survivability to this item where, you know, casters get a little bit extra armor. But realistically, who would take 3 agility over like 18 damage and healing and a little bit less spirit? I mean, it's yeah. I can't think of a single one. It kind of reminds you of the Robes of Aragorn. Those have like a few agility as well. I mean, why would you do that? I mean, I guess some hunter's going to think like, oh, that's a hunter weapon. Or that's a hunter item. Look at that. It has 3 agility. I need it. I'm a hunter. I need agility. Whatever. Tharisan's Royal Scepter. 10 spirit, 5 intellect, 5 stamina, 22 healing, not damage and healing. Pretty darn nice healing offhand. Again, if you're a priest, maybe a shaman, and you don't want to wear a shield during raids, you just want to go pure healing. Very nice item. Again, Resto Druids, whatever you want. Really good item. Patch 1.2, 15 spirit, 5 intellect, 5 stamina. So you get 5 spirit, but you lose 22 healing. So if you have this item and the pants we looked at earlier, the Senior Designer's Pantaloons, just those 2 items, that's 62 healing gone. That you don't have. And that's 2 items out of what, like 16, 17 you can wear? That's pretty goddamn, that's a lot. But there you go. That's what this item was like in early vanilla. Guiding Stave of Wisdom. Oh, this is another great one. Again, from the Emperor, from BRD. Pretty nice item. Look at that. 10 spirit, 11 stamina, 10 frost resistance, and 53 extra healing done. That's pretty huge. 53 extra healing done. Okay, let's go to 1.2. 29 spirit, 10 stamina, 10 frost resistance. Again, no healing, nothing. You get more spirit, sure, 19, but I can't think of a single healer that would go for 19 spirit over 53 healing done. I can't think of a single one. 53 healing done. Look at that. That is a huge difference. Again, I keep falling to the same points, but there you go. I mean, it's just that big of a difference. Look at that. All right. Sunderseer Mantle. Another one. This is off of LBRS, I believe it is. Yeah, LBRS, Lower Blackrock Spire. 17 Intellect, 11 Spirit, 4 Stamina, 8 damage and healing. Not the greatest. You know, I think the Kenzi Kameez is a little better because it has more damage. But, you know, still decent shoulders. You probably want them if they drop. Patch 1.2. Look at that. Again, agility. 17 Intellect, 11 Spirit, 4 Stamina, 7 agility. I guess Blizzard had like a... They had like a fixation with Spirit and agility on cloth items. And again, some hunters probably going to go like, oh, I need these. They have agility. I need these. Need. But again, I don't know a single caster that would want these. Unless it's like early vanilla and, you know, there's barely any spell damage. But again, that's 8 damage and healing gone. Gone. So you get 7 agility over 8 damage and healing. So, pretty ridiculous. Trindlehaven Staff. Another item out of LBRS. Not the greatest staff, but still, you know, 25 intellect, lots of mana, 12 stamina, and 14 damage and healing. Not too shabby. I take that, you know, if I'm still rolling around with, I don't know, the Illusionary Rod or some other crappy blue or green item, I take this. Patch 1.2. 30 intellect, 12 stamina. So you're trading 5 intellect for 14 damage and healing. Again, that's a lot of difference. It's a lot of difference. Let's move on. Dust Fetter Sash. Not the greatest Sash. Of course, you want the Banthok Sash. This drops off of UBRS. 18 Intellect, 10 Stamina, 9 damage and healing. So still not too bad. You know, it's got some damage and healing. Doesn't have the spell hit from the BRD belt. But if you're rolling around with some crappy blue, you think, you know, this is probably a good upgrade. I'll take that. Patch 1.2. 20 Intellect, 10 Stamina. Again, no damage and healing. Crystallized Girdle. Same. I think this is also from UBRS. 6 Stamina, 19 Intellect, Spirit, 9 damage and healing. Same deal here. Look at that. It has a little bit more base stats, but no damage and healing. None. Though this is leather, so maybe balanced druids or shamans can wear this. There you go. Master Smith Hammer. Oh, this one's fun. Look at this. Master Smith Hammer, right? 5 Intellect, 14 damage and healing, 1-handed mace. Main hand. Great for Shadow Priests. Elemental Shamans want this. Maybe if you're a balanced druid. Great main hand. If you combine this with, I don't know, let's say the AV offhand or something like that, you get like a nice combo. Look at this. Patch 1.2. Patch 1.2. 10 fire resistance and 6 fire damage. Like, what the hell? Like, balanced druids can't use this because it's fire damage. Shadow priests can't use it because it's only elemental shamans can really benefit off of this. That's it. That's the only class. And even then, they use like nature damage most of the time. They only have Flame Shock and Fire Nova Totem and Searing Totem. Like, who wants this? If you look at that and go, yeah, you know what? I'm an elemental shaman. I want to buff my Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, because that's what I use the most, like my Earth Shock. But I want that 6 fire damage. Hell yeah. Give me that. Just look at it, man. It's ridiculous. Royal Cap Spoilers. These are from Skullomance. 30 Spirit, 9 Intellect, 8 Stamina, 26 healing done. Pretty darn nice. Resto Shaman Shoulders. Even Holy Palance one is probably 2. Pretty damn nice. You ready? Patch 1.2. Look at that. 14 Spirit, 9 Intellect, 5 Agility. 5 Agility. This is getting pretty close to Hunter item, actually. If a Hunter rolls neat on this, you're almost like, I don't really blame you. Because it's male and it's got Agility. But look at that. No damage, no healing. You know, it's got no stamina. It's terrible. But again, this is the gear they had when they were doing early vanilla Molten Core. Deadwalker Mantle, another good one. 19 stamina, 9 intellect, 13 shadow damage. Warlocks, Shadow Priests, you know, they're all over this item. Patch 1.2. 13 stamina, 6 intellect. Where did the damage and healing go? Where did the shadow damage go? It's gone. And you get less stamina and you get less intellect. Again, pretty terrible item. You look at this and go, something you'd expect to find in a very simple green quest or in the auction house. You're like, some throwaway shoulders, put it on there for 2 gold or 1 gold or whatever. Not in a very, pretty difficult dungeon, Skullomance. Takes a lot of effort to complete this. So, right, this is Stratholme, right? No, Skullomance. Never mind. I got it, Skullomance, Radagor. But there you go. Look at that. It's terrible. Maelstrom Leggings. Look at that. 10 Spirit, 20 Stamina, 20 Intellects, and increases healing done by 13. Why is there a Draenei on a... Okay. Picture of a Draenei on a classic database. Whatever. It's alright. Patch 1.2. 20 spirit, 6 agility, 20 intellect, 10 strength. We're like, what? I guess you can't say hunters because it's 10 strength. Like, what the fuck do hunters have to do with strength? Not much. I'd say enhancement shamans. But even enhancement shamans can probably get better stuff because it has no stamina. Like, what the hell? But look at that. I mean, obviously these are much better. You know, great for resto shamans. But this one, pretty terrible if you ask me. Okay, so I got a few more items I want to show you guys. Blood Mail is one of them. Look at that. Blood Mail right now is pretty much the main set enhancement shamans want when they're trying to gear up, basically. You know, it's great. Look at this. The boots. 10 stamina, 10 intellect, 9 strength, 9 agility, and 1% chance to hit. That is amazing for enhancement shamans. They're all over that. Want to get that definitely. Look at it, what it is in patch 1.2. You ready? Are you ready? Look at this. 20 spirit. That's it. Just look at it. It gives you no stamina, no intellect, no offensive capabilities, and no hits. It's just 20 spirit. You're like, why would I want 20 spirit? I mean, if I'm a resto shaman, I want MP5, not spirit. This is ridiculous. 20 spirit, that's it. So, I understand why Blizzard buffed this one, because it was fucking terrible, but look at it. This one obviously is way better. So, if you're a shaman, and you just happen to do Molten Core, like, I don't know, you got your Nightfall, whatever item you got, and you're there doing DPS, you got that Blood Mail on. Look at what you would have if this was actual early vanilla and they went through item progression. 20 per spirit. That's all you get. Good luck. And of course, the rest of the items are exactly the same. Bloodfine Gauntlets. Great on Gauntlets. 10 stamina, 10 intellect, 9 strength, 1% crit. Great. Again, great gloves for an enhancement shaman. They definitely want this. Patch 1.2. 17 spirit, 7 intellect. So again, a pretty useless resto shaman item. Pretty useless hunter item. Has no agility. You know, it just... What the hell? And it goes on. Bloodmail Belt, you know. 10 stamina, 9 intellect, 12 strength, 12 agility. They're not the greatest, but still pretty darn nice. 1.2. 11 strength, or 11 agility, 17 strength. So, at least this one is not too terrible, but still, it's a level 56 item, and it gives you that, so... Pretty meh still. Bloodmail Leg Guards, kind of the same. Base stats, but still pretty decent. Look at that. 6 stamina, 3 strength, 25 spirit. Again, Blizzard was fixated with spirit back then. They really were. Until I started to massively change items around, which I hope you guys now realize is how much they changed the items throughout the years of vanilla. Where in early vanilla, people were rolling around with stuff like this. Look at that. 6 stamina, 3 strength, 25 spirit on mail. Like, if they were cloth and you'd remove the spirit, you'd at least like, oh, you know, at least the priest can benefit from, like, the mana regeneration during casting, or like a druid who has the same thing. But on a fucking shaman, like, what the hell are you guys thinking? And you know what? It goes on and on like this. So there's like a ton of more items that changed around during Vanilla's lifespan. But I'm just going to stop it here because the video is probably getting long enough. And I hope you guys basically get the idea that items in early vanilla, when people were doing Molten Core as the top tier raid, were vastly different than what they were now or in late retail vanilla. So when people say that raiding in vanilla was really hard, and they're like, oh, I look at classic and it's really easy. I'm like, yeah, well, no shit. I mean, the reasons I've just mentioned before, you know, the better PCs, better internet connection, better comms, the strats being out there, of course, that's obvious. But it's things like this where I feel like people kind of forgot this or brush over this, but it's pretty big. I mean, you saw some of the items, like the cloth pants that drop from BRD, that's 40 healing on one item. That's pretty big. Imagine if you have like 5 priests in there, and maybe like a druid or something like that just happen to have these pants on. That's a lot of healing that's not being thrown out there, because the item is just way worse. And again, it's also with like lots of damage and healing missing. That it's also not there. So of course bosses are going down slower. You're lacking hit rating, and the Sash from BRD, like most casters have that in Molten Core. But in early vanilla, you didn't have extra hits, so of course the boss would go down slower, which means the healers require more mana, and all that jazz. So I hope it's clear now that this is definitely a big part of why retail vanilla raiding in the early days was very hard, compared to what it's like now. This is definitely another big aspect that I feel like people either forgot or don't really remember that well. So there you go, guys. I hope this was a little informative to you. I hope this was a little bit of an eye-opener. Again, if you want to check out these items yourself, you can. I'll leave a link to this classic database in the description. And hey, if you're kind of curious, you can basically go through your own gear and see if it's changed. I mean, I know the tier sets are, for the most part, untouched. Dungeon sets are, for the most part, untouched. But it's like a lot of these off items from like BRD, Skullman, Stratholme, LBRS, UBRS. Those items were changed around the most. And you can see that. You can see the drastic differences in this type of gear. Alright, that's going to do it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little video of me showing the items and how much they changed. Once again, link is in the description if you want to check out the items on yourself. And I'll be back with another video pretty soon. But until then, I'm Hamster Wheel and have a wonderful 2020.